Everyone, welcome back. Chris McCormick joined by Sam Kim. We are in the Scottsdale studio today testing new mini drivers. So 2024, arguably the year of the driver. Now 2025, is this the year of the mini driver? And we're gonna test that today. So we've got new offerings from TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist. We're gonna jump in the bay, hit them side by side, see how they perform, and talk about who these products are for. So, Sammy, you ready to do some swinging for us?
Pretty excited about this one. This one's gonna be fun.
Perfect. But before we jump in the bay, make sure, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's hit some shots.
Let's do it.
All right, Sammy, first one of the mini driver roundup, TaylorMade R7 Quad. This thing, blast from the past. The aesthetics, awesome. Definitely takes me back to that initial launch of the OG R7 Quad, which was groundbreaking technology at the time. So first impressions, how's this look to you?
This thing looks awesome.
Aesthetics, checking that box.
Unbelievable. So definitely throwback on the bottom. The badging is the exact same, but also from like at address, top line, the matte black is very clean. It sits really nice and square behind the ball.
And you're a mini driver player currently, right?
Yep, so I have mini driver in the bag now. It's in the fairway wood spot.
Okay.
I don't hit too many fairway woods off the ground. So what I find is, a while ago, the thought was, well, if I'm mainly hitting fairway wood off the tee, why not make the face bigger? Less chance for me to miss it.
Exactly, especially at your speed.
Yeah, so I found mini driver fit that spot really well, and it's continued to do well for me off the tee.
Nice. Well, that's pretty nice out of the gate.
That feels really, really solid.
And R7 Quad, true to the original launch, that 4 movable weight option. So they've got 2 13 grammers, 2 4 grammers, shifted front right behind the face, and then way back in the aft of the driver, help with some launch and maybe a little bit of extra stability, some spin. Right out of the gate, 168 ball speed at 116, spin at 4,000, a little higher than what you would expect out of a 3-wood. We're taking it off the tee, and a little higher than you would expect out of a driver. Kind of right in between distance-wise for you, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's the idea, right? That 275 carry number would be what we're looking for out of a 3-wood, and I think that's what mini driver's for, right? Is for help get that ball up in the air, big face off the tee, and just get the ball out there.
So you typically 275 carry for 3-wood is what you usually have?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Without a doubt. I think that 275 number is kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay. Good ball there.
That was a good ball.
Really good ball there.
This feels really solid off the face. It also feels very stable, and it's going the number.
Nice. Yeah, that was good carry number for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
146 efficiency. Look at that.
Big fan of that. That feels really nice.
122, 43, 281 carry. And how far, just for comparison's sake, how far do you typically carry driver?
I'd probably be the one to tell you it depends on the day, but driver probably is gonna carry around 310 to 315-ish.
Okay. So that, yeah, that definitely finds a home in its bag, or in your bag, I should say. So let's get one more just for comparison.
See, I like that ball a lot, right? Because if I'm trying to play a fade, that's what I'm looking for it to do.
Yeah, starting on line, falling right, doesn't get away from you too much. 3,700, 173 ball speed, Sammy. 287 carry. That one got up on us a little bit. So, and that's at 13.5 degrees. And with that TaylorMade loft sleeve, you've got 2 degrees of adjustability that you can kind of fine tune that launch window and really dial in that carry number. All right.
Yeah.
So that's a good sample there. Let's go into Callaway Elyte Mini. So next up, Sam, we have got Callaway Elyte Mini. So Callaway made a lot of technological improvements going from a great product line in the AI Smoke into Elyte. All new face tech is now incorporated into this Mini that we saw join the Elyte family for 2025. So that AI 10X face is really, really solid. If you haven't had a chance to really do some testing with it, an impact position around the face, super stable. So anxious to see what this does for us.
Yeah, this looks good. It looks like a smaller version of the Elite driver, which is, I guess, the idea, right?
That's it.
Mini version.
Mini version. Wow, that had a good sound.
That felt really nice. Definitely got up a little higher, maybe a little more spin there, but it went straight and it went the number.
Super stable. That's good. 170 ball speed. Nice. One thing to keep in mind too, just the overall construction of these heads, that has a little higher MOI than what I would anticipate out of the R7 Quad, especially with that concentration of mass being so far away from the face. So slightly easier to launch, more forgiveness. Higher launch typically equates to a little bit more spin.
That was a good ball. That felt
really good ball there.
That felt nice. This has a really good feel off the face.
I like the sound too.
Soft almost.
Softer feel, okay. So, and it's kind of a good point to bring up. We're seeing higher launch, we're seeing more spin, which would lead me to believe, like we kind of said, more forgiveness, a little higher MOI, seeing that weight shifted further back away from the face. Oh, and I mean, stability of that ball flight, really, really clean.
Yeah, that was the comment I was gonna make, is stability. It feels very stable.
And efficiency still really good there. Nice.
Yeah, that was great.
That's a good one to end on there. I mean, the dispersion of this downrange, really impressive.
Yeah, they all just went straight.
And you're looking at your carry number around that 280, and to have that grouping of shots that tight at 300 yards downrange, I mean, that's a fairway finder for you all day.
Yeah, easy.
Nice. So one more to test, and that is the Titleist GT280. So first impressions, how's that look at a dress for you?
It's a lot different than the other two. Visually, it's quite a bit smaller. I don't know how much smaller it is, but it's definitely smaller.
Well, you've got R7 Quad and Elite Mini coming in well over that 300cc range. Now, 280, it's in the name.
Sure.
So 280 cc's, and Titleist really made it a point to shape this as more of a two-wood, but still also be competitive in that mini driver market. So they've actually designed this to be a lot more player-friendly when hitting it off the deck, off of tight lies. So, I mean, for somebody like you, this might be really good. Yeah.
This feels solid as well. I've said all three of them have felt solid. This one has more of a thud feel to it. It's a different feel than the other two for sure. But it feels like there's mass behind it, and it feels like that ball just kind of wants to jump and go.
Sam, I definitely want to touch on the acoustics here. So GT280 still incorporates that thermoform crown that we have in the GT family, but they've also built in a new face technology. So this face actually wraps around the bottom part of the golf club, and really user-friendly on that mist that potentially is a little low on the face compared to something that you may have in driver that goes a little higher. So let's get one more just to round out the sample and then take a look at these all side by side. Nice. Seems like this one wants to turn over for you a little more than the other two.
Yeah, this thing's a rocket launcher. Just kind of low spin and just goes far.
Wow, yeah. And you do have the Titleist loft sleeve. You can flatten it out. You can open that face up a little bit if you need to. But let's come on back, take a look at some of this data, see how these three stack up. And I mean, three very different golf clubs, and three different players could play these. So Sammy, good test as always. Speed, always impressive to see. But looking at these three heads, I mean, it's kind of painting a picture of three very different golf clubs here. So, walk us through kind of what you're seeing from a data perspective, and starting from the TaylorMade R7 Quad. Who's this for?
Yeah, so I think what the data would show us with the TaylorMade is probably for that player who wants to be able to work the ball, maybe left to right, and see some different shots. For sure, based off testing, going to be for that player who doesn't want to see the ball go left.
Yeah.
Which you would argue, I think most of the better players don't want to see that ball go left.
Exactly.
And I think that TaylorMade has it's a good option for off the tee. You can still hit it off the ground, and you can work it both ways. And that's going to be a club that's it's gonna sit behind driver, right? It's not gonna be a club where when you hit driver, they just go the same distance. I think the versatility there from a launch and spin standpoint really allows you to do different things with it.
So going into Callaway Elyte Mini, I mean, man, when you were testing that, so stable. It was just fairway finder, wants to go straight. Who's going to benefit from that guy?
I think the data on the Callaway will show stable and consistent from ball speed to launch to spin. It kind of did the same thing every time, right?
Yeah.
It went high, it spun a little bit more than the others, and it went straight. So for your player that wants a club off the tee or even off the ground, that they just want to hit it high and straight and find fairways,
That's it.
They're not necessarily looking to work the ball a whole bunch. I think that Callaway does that job for sure.
So moving into Titleist GT280, that thing for you was an absolute rocket ship. And in looking at the start line and also the way that it moves down range, story to be told there too.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that ball speed in all three of them was extremely consistent, but you see that Titleist going a little bit further. Part of that's because it was turned over, so maybe a little easier to turn over there. But spin also came down quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely dramatic drop in spin.
But I think worth noting for that Titleist too, so of the three heads, that's the only one that's only gonna come in that 13 degree of loft, where the other two, you have that 11.5 option.
Great tech coming from these companies. All three heads separate themselves to where there's room for all of them in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So when you are ready to test your next mini driver, make sure book your fitting at your local True Spec. We'll see you next time.